You're tuned in to the Foxboro BeatCast, a podcast for Patriots fans by Patriots fans. And here are your hosts, is Kaleb McChesney and Ryan Moore.
Hello and welcome to the Foxboro BeatCast. I am your host, Kaleb McChesney. Alongside me is my co-host, Ryan Moore, and where football is upon us, everybody. As you're watching tonight on Thursday, the Detroit Lions head to Arrowhead Stadium, take on the Kansas City Chiefs in the NFL season opener. But our Patriots have to wait till Sunday. Not that we're really complaining about that. There are a lot of things I'd rather be doing than watching this team go to Arrowhead right now. But we do have a jam-packed show, obviously highlighting our matchup with the Super Bowl runner-ups, the Philadelphia Eagles, in Gillette Stadium, with a lot of things surrounding that. But before we dive right into it, Ryan, what's up? How are you this week? Anything new?
No, just getting ready for some football on Sunday. Well, I guess tomorrow or Thursday, but getting ready for football. So
yeah. Well, speaking of things getting ready for football, apparently Juju Smith-Schuster's knee is not ready for football. In fact, it is a ticking time bomb. To open the show, let's clear up some things. First things first, Albert Breer delivered a report, if we want to be liberal about the word report, that Juju Smith-Schuster, wide receiver, has a knee injury that has made him a, quote, ticking time bomb. The Patriots signed him to a 3-year, $33 million deal this offseason. But Juju says he feels good. So let's just open up the floor real quick. What do we make of this report? Are we taking on Juju's side? Has Burt Breer got something? What's our opening thoughts to that?
Well, let's be real here. The Patriots aren't signing a guy to a $33 million contract if his knee is a ticking time bomb. You know, James Robinson, they failed him on his physical, and they gave him a $4 million contract. I'm sure they wouldn't give a guy $33 million if his knee was a ticking time bomb. So, I'm sorry. I call bullshit. I call bullshit.
No, I agree. Albert Breer, obviously, the Monday morning quarterback or whatever he calls his blog there. He's a reputable source. He has some hits. But I'm not sure how much I buy into this because we had a similar situation with James Robinson this offseason. We gave him a 1-year, $4 million deal or something along those lines. He failed his physical and we cut him, and that was that. I would imagine that Belichick has a similar process for all players that he may or may not have an injury concern with. And Juju, I mean, his injuries are not new. We know that he's been banged up over the last couple of years. Nothing like that really screams to me ticking time bomb, but as just like he has an injury history. So I think it's safe to assume that Belichick would have at least looked into that.
Yeah. Well, you look at you would have to be really banged up to fail your physical in New England. James White, I remember coming off that hip injury, he couldn't pass the physical to come back. Julian Edelman was forced into retirement because he couldn't pass his physical.
Bone on bone knee injury, yeah.
Yeah, so I think if Juju's knee is if it was as shredded as Breer is saying, come on, they're not giving a guy $33 million to go sit on the IR basically and collect checks. It's not how they do things here.
And it never really has been. Obviously, with Juju walking out the door, it opens up a new conversation because not with Juju walking out the door, but we bring in Juju, we let go of Jacoby Myers. Obviously, the similar caliber players. I know they play a little differently, but I think they're both solid wide receiver twos on their best days.
Yeah.
If this knee injury is as bad as Burt Breer is saying it is, how stupid does it look that we let Jacoby Myers walk for the same money?
I mean, I understand why they let Jacoby Myers walk in the sense of they needed a physical element back to the receiving game. I don't think Jacoby Myers brings it. Juju does. So I get their logic. I don't think it'd be stupid. It'd just be unfortunate. Football's football, man. It's a brutal sport. If his knee gets, you know, destroyed, I mean, shit, that's just life, I guess. I think Jacoby will still do his thing, but even then, like I said, it's a brutal sport. Jacoby can even get hurt. I don't want that to happen. Knock on wood. But that's just life.
He's had like minor injuries over the last couple of years too. I think he's had back issues or
Yeah,
ribs. He might have had a concussion at one point. I don't remember. Wide receiver it's wide receiver is a brutal position. It's
yeah,
probably the most often injured position, maybe next to running back.
yeah. Well, you're playing a car accident sport, right? Like you're getting crushed by guys going full speed, wearing pads and helmets and shit. You're, there's a reason why not a lot of guys, even the great players, don't last 10 years in the league. Unfortunately, it's very rare.
It's
So,
true. Yeah, guys like Julian Edelman are a rarity, and even Julian Edelman had his
yeah,
plenty of injuries.
yeah.
But
Edelman could have played till he was 40 if he wanted to, but his relentless play style
and
forced him to
before we move on to the other huge topic that I have on slate, I gotta neck myself here that I didn't put this on the script. Jack Jones, he's gonna be there for week 1 according to Bill Belichick. The Massachusetts DA office or the DA office of Suffolk County, Boston, where Logan Airport is. The gun charges have been dropped for Jack Jones. He's gonna do some community service and be on probation or something along those lines. I will stay away from all the legal stuff because obviously we're not lawyers. But how much is Jack Jones? How pivotal is Jack Jones to the secondary that's so young, that is coming off of a year where it wasn't great. I mean, how Jack Jones coming off a suspension too, an
yeah.
in-team suspension, obviously. But I mean, are you pumped that we have Jack Jones here, or is it just another body in the room?
It depends. Are we getting the first couple weeks of last year, Jack Jones? Are we getting the kind of, and Patriots fans won't really admit it, but he was kind of bleh after
Up and down.
this. Yeah. So we'll see. He's still really talented, but they added Christian Gonzalez to the room. So maybe there's less stress on Jack Jones to be the guy. Marcus Jones is also there. John Jones, the three Joneses. um, it it's gonna be fun to have 4 like legit corners, I think. But if we get Jack Jones of like weeks like 1 to like 7, that'd be awesome. That'd be big boost to the secondary.
I mean, for me, we watched Christian Gonzalez in the preseason, and I don't know if you agree with me, but he was really underwhelming.
Yeah, yeah. Well, let me
Maybe
play his
my
best football.
expectations were too high for him
Mine were
because
too. I was comparing
coming
the
out of
Packers to
college,
James.
this guy was the best corner in college by, I don't want to say unanimous, but it was pretty. He was the favorite coming out of college to be CB1. Obviously, Devin Witherspoon and Deontay Banks went before he did to Seattle and Washington, respectively. I think the pressure is still there for Jack Jones to be a real time performer, and he was aggressive the first couple of weeks of that season. He picked off Aaron Rodgers. I mean,
Yeah,
how often does that happen?
not
Obviously,
often.
Marcus Jones, I'm not sure how great he is at defense.
We don't know yet.
And Jonathan Jones is obviously one of the best slot corners in the game. Really
Yeah,
underrated. And he played it as our CB1 last year, and he was great. He was
yeah.
unbelievable. So I think more bodies is always great. I don't know just how much it changes my perspective on the secondary, but obviously you take a guy who can play when you can get him, and Jack Jones is certainly a guy that can play. You just need to get it. You just need to get it right.
Jack Jones kind of has like that. Like, I don't know if I want to throw his comparison completely out there, but he's kind of got like that Marcus Peters, where he's very boomer bust. 1 week he might get torched. 1 week he's got like 2 or 3 interceptions. you know, house calling it. And I guess you just live with that. If that's your cornerback 2 or cornerback 3, that's awesome. I don't think he will ever be the top cornerback in New England. And if he does, it'd be because he took a huge leap in his game.
Or will it be
respect
because
to
Christian Gonzalez is it because Christian Gonzalez didn't perform as well as we thought he would?
Yeah. I mean, if Gonzo doesn't perform as well as we thought he did, then man, that'd be really disappointing.
We got a whole lot of problems if Gonzo is not the guy. Obviously we need to taper expectations because this guy's like what, just turned 21?
Yeah, turned 21 in June. So he's a freak athlete.
He's got some room to grow, both physically and within the game. So obviously he's put in a high pressure situation because this secondary is desperate for a CB1 that's akin to the likes of J.C. Jackson, Stephon Gilmore, Malcolm Butler, Darrell Revis, Ty Law.
Yeah,
I'm sure I'm missing a couple of great names. Yeah, but he didn't take number 24.
Yeah. He took number 6 instead. Man, I would have slapped 24 on him and say sorry, man.
Put
the pressure on him.
But speaking of legends, as we move on from the Jack Jones convo, excited to see him on Sunday. There's another somebody returning to Gillette Stadium. Obviously, we'd be foolish to not mention the biggest draw of this game. That's not the game itself. The return of quarterback Tom Brady goes to Foxboro for the first time since retiring. The resume speaks for itself. The 7 Super Bowls, the 3 MVPs.
Yeah, 3 MVPs. I don't know. Allegedly, Tom Brady's pretty good. That's what my sources are telling me.
Yeah, I mean,
pretty good football.
He was just a kid that came out of Michigan, and then
he's a 6th rounder. Why are we honoring this guy?
Honestly, are we really about to retire his? We kid aside, obviously, Tom Brady is the man. He will get whatever he wants outside of Gillette Stadium. The plans for the celebration, I haven't seen any leaks or any like plans that have been sent out to us, but we know Brady's going to be in the building. The Patriots social media accounts are just flooded with Brady posting. Like you'd think that it was like Deflategate all over again. But Ryan, let's go to you. What are your thoughts on Brady's return? Do you have any ideas of what the Patriots could do, what they should do? Any Tom Brady thoughts, really? I mean, this is the time to just kind of let it roam free.
Oh. Build the fucking statue. That's my thoughts.
I agree.
Build the statue, retire the jersey. Maybe they surprise us with a surprise jersey retirement because they kept, I remember they used Gronk's number and they've been kind of using Gronk's number.
They've been giving Gronk's number to like bums too, like Trey Nixon.
Yeah, which I disagree strongly with that, but they kept 12 out of circulation the entire time. You hear Bill Belichick talk about Tom Brady in the press conferences, and they asked him yesterday, and I saw Bill have a shit-eating grin. Like it was the happiest I've seen Bill in a minute when they asked him about Brady. So
and he stopped putting in Lawrence Taylor into these convos about Brady. Like how he used to be. He would say, "Oh yeah, no, I coach great players between Brady, Lawrence Taylor, Randy Moss, Ty Law, Rodney Harrison," and now I mean he's talking just Brady now.
Well, he has his 3 goats now. It's he's like, it's I'm privileged to coach the greatest ever.
Hold on. You have to do the Belichick voice.
I'm privileged to coach the greatest ever quarterback. I'm privileged to coach the greatest defensive player ever in Lawrence Taylor. I'm privileged to coach the greatest special teamer in Matt Slater. Those are his 3.
And he won't mention Gronk, that son of a bitch. But that's neither here nor there. Obviously, we want to build a statue. We want to retire the jersey. I mean, the Patriots have a notoriously small haul as far as jersey retirements goes. Like, I think it's John Hanna, maybe somebody else.
I think it's Tippett. They retired his jersey.
Andre Tippett, 50.
Yeah.
Was it 56?
56.
Something like that. Hold on, you keep talking. I'll Google the Patriots retired
To,
numbers.
to me, I would retire Brady and Gronk's jersey. Just personally, I think they're the two goats.
All right, I got it. Gino Cappelletti, number 20. Mike Haynes, number 40. Andre Tippett, number 56. Steve Nelson, number 57. John Hanna, number 73. Bruce Armstrong, number 78. Jim Lee Hunt, number 79. And Bob D, number 89.
And what's funny is how many of those were retired like under Kraft? Like,
Probably.
I think Armstrong was the only one that was, because Armstrong retired in 2000, if I remember correctly, 2000 or 2001. So I think the rest of them were done under previous ownerships and stuff like that. They used to kind of retire numbers like candy in New England. And while I think Tippett and Hanna deserve it, the rest of the guys, no. To me, I would add Brady and Gronk's numbers to it, and that I don't think these guys like.
Yeah, this article doesn't say when they put it in, when they made it retired. But
okay,
I wish they did.
Well,
I mean, there might have been one under Kraft.
I know Armstrong was under Kraft because Armstrong retired in the early 2000s. Tippett might have been under Kraft. I think Hanna was under the previous ownership. Nelson, I think, was under previous. There's a lot of people kind of forget the Patriots were.
And then there are the legends, John Hanna and Gino Cappelletti.
Yeah, Haynes was also a pretty great player too. For what it's worth, I would understand retiring Haynes' number, but the rest of them, I'm like, yeah, come on. They're telling me Gronk can't get his number retired, but like Steve Nelson can.
Julian Edelman, but Bob D.
Yeah.
But
I would even kind of if it wasn't a badge of honor at this point, I'd even kind of include 24. As like a sort of like, but at this point, it's kind of like a badge of honor. It should go to the best cornerback in the team, sort of thing.
No, I agree, but I think the jersey retirement is just get that done. The statue, I'm here for it. What are some other like Tom Brady topics that we can really dive into? I mean, we have some time here.
We'd have like a whole episode. We could take a whole episode on Brady, just like, this is my favorite Tom Brady memory from the 2012 season.
2012 season was ironically the first season I started watching football, and I remember the season opener versus the Titans. Brady throws a touchdown to Gronk, and then Gronk goes to spike it, and it just leaves his hand. And then there's also the oh god, who posted it? It was some Titans cornerback that got lit up. And
he's like lit up Aaron Hernandez helmet off.
Yeah, no, he lit up Hernandez, and then Hernandez is on the ground. I'm like, I'll kill you, bitch! Like who could have saw that one coming? But no, that 2012 season, man, I remember shockingly little about it.
Yeah, it was. The most memorable game that came from it was the Texans one,
the Letterman Texans game,
and the playoff game too versus Houston. They curb stomped the shit out of the Texans.
Yep, and then there was the crazy comeback that was all for naught against the Niners.
Yeah,
that was a stacked Niners team.
Yeah, the Kaepernick 49ers are fun to watch, even though they didn't. That's yeah.
And then in 2013 there was the 24-0 comeback against the Broncos. That was unbelievable. I remember my dad wouldn't let me like stay up late to watch those games, but he gave me like this like boombox for my birthday that could connect to the radio, and it had a headphone jack. So it's like 11 o'clock at night, because that game went to like goddamn overtime.
Oh, it went to midnight.
Because there was a clock delay too. Like it was just unbelievable. And I plugged the headphones in and I put them on, and I'm listening to this radio, real quietly as the Patriots come back from 24-0.
Dude, I was going crazy at the TV at like midnight, like in my living room.
Those
Like,
2013 Patriots were all heart, no talent.
yeah, it was. You look at back at the offensive core, man. There's like Tom Brady, Julian Edelman, LeGarrette Blount versus the world in
And
December.
then Gronk for like half the year.
Yeah,
Dude, that Cleveland
Gronk,
Browns
like,
game,
died.
that Browns game was just insane.
And just sort of off topic, but man, that was such a testament to Josh Gordon, how great he was in 2013, that he almost single-handedly.
Unbelievable Josh Gordon was. And 2014, obviously, we can dive right through that season. Obviously, you start out 2-2, have the blowout in Kansas City. Everybody's calling for Brady's head. It's over. He's old. He's done. And then they lose 2 more games.
They buzzsawed the rest of the NFL after that.
Well, they lost to the Packers, and then
They won
lost
like 8 in a row.
They lost to the Packers in Lambeau, and then they
Lost a
that.
rinky dink.
Yeah, Garoppolo's debut.
Yeah, they lost a game where like Brady started a half.
That Bears game I remember vividly because Gronk just went apeshit.
Yeah, dude, he would like that one play where like Brady threw it to him in the middle of the field, and then like Gronk just like
stiff armed
Ryan Mundy.
Yeah,
and basically just dragged the entire. Like, there's also a touchdown versus the Colts as well, where Gronk just. This is what I mean by Gronk should have his number retired, man. There is nobody more dominant as an offensive weapon, and I truly mean this, than prime Gronk. And I love like Randy Moss and all that, but Gronk was
physically dominant,
the most physically dominant, like maybe human being I've ever seen.
He was football Shaq.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he was like Orlando, like 2011. Gronk was like Orlando Magic Shaq, the most athletically gifted big man that you cannot tackle. He's faster than you. He's stronger than you. The only way to beat him was to hack a Gronk or hack a Shaq. Like, basically, just beat the shit out of him. That's the only way you're
dive
gonna
at his knees and end his season. Yeah. The one thing I remember about that Bears game in 2014, one of the things, because they were up like 55-14 or whatever the hell it was.
Yeah,
and
Lamar Houston.
Yeah, he comes in, sacks rookie Jimmy Garoppolo, acts like he did something, does this huge celebration, and blows his ACL.
He did the Cristiano Ronaldo celebration, the seal, whatever the fuck that is. He popped his ACL like a dumbass. That's the dumbest way to be injured ever.
That's why 300-pounders shouldn't be doing all that.
I think another player did it. I can't remember. I think it might have been like Nick Fairley or someone did it.
I do kind of. I remember. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Obviously, there was Revis shutting down Megatron like the next week.
Yeah, they buzzsawed Detroit as well. They I'm trying to think. They buzzsawed it was a closer game than like it should have been, but they like offensively buzzsawed Buffalo that year. Like in the one on the road in Buffalo.
Yeah, the Brian Timms 54-yard strike.
Yeah, that was
I
awesome.
wish we saw I wish we saw more of Brian Timms. That dude, he had talent if he could just stay healthy.
It's been 9 years and you're still like, unleash Brian Timms.
Honestly, dude, he was killing it. He was killing it in the Euro leagues.
It's been like 6 or 7 years. I'm still screaming, unleash Devin Lucien.
God, imagine that. Devin Lucien. There was another.
Maybe in like 5 years, I'm like, unleash Mario Douglas.
Who was the other receiver with Lucien? Not Austin Carr. There was another one.
Oh, in what year? 2017?
It was that year. It was like 2016, 2017. It was like the Lucien era.
Are you thinking of Chris Harper?
No, fuck Chris Harper. That Broncos game, unbelievable. 2015. That was my least favorite Patriots game.
Fuck that game, man.
In the Brady era, there are a couple post Brady that really pissed me off, but that 2015 Broncos game, CJ Anderson in overtime, just whoop, no problem. Gronk dies. It's Brady and a Gimpy Dola and Scott Chandler versus the world.
Hey, man, Brandon Bolden had a long touchdown.
Yeah, he did.
No, that game fucking sucked. I will say I think the Patriots-Eagles game the next week might be my least favorite Patriots game ever. Because that happened the day before my birthday.
Oh, my least
Sam
favorite
Bradford
Patriots
blew them
ever.
out.
Yeah, that was a bad one.
That was
the last time the Eagles came up here, I think, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was the most miserable I had ever been in my life going to school the next day, man.
Didn't Darren Sproles return 2 punts for touchdowns?
I think he had one. I know Malcolm Jenkins house called Brady. He picked him off at the goal line and then house called it. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? They did the Patriots did some weird pooch punt with Nate Ebner. The dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life. I was like, we're trolling, man. We're fucking trolling. And the week before, the Eagles got blown out by the Lions on Thanksgiving.
That's right.
They were trolling.
Yep.
They were all, and then they had the Miami game at the end of the year. Remember that one?
Oh, the Steven Jackson game.
Conservative-ass offense.
The Steven Jackson game, yeah.
Yeah. James White had one huge play, and then they did nothing with it the entire
Ndamukong Suh about killed Brady's ankle.
Yeah. They were trolling, man.
That 2015 Patriots team, if they had stayed healthy, if Gronk and Edelman never went down,
16-0 or 15-1.
Yeah, and then they go play the Panthers in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, and they probably crushed them because that Patriots team was a fucking buzzsaw.
Cam Newton owns us though.
Yeah. I don't know. It's also
2013 he killed us. 2018 or 17 he killed us.
Oh my! The 2017 game versus Carolina was a joke.
Oh yeah, and they still only lost by a field goal.
Yeah. Hey, we have this really elite man coverage corner. Let's play him in zone. We paid him $65 million, but let's spam zone coverage to this guy. Wow, we're getting killed in zone. Let's not do anything about it the entire game.
Cam Newton just runs all over you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Cam Newton was a freak in his prime, man.
Fuck, man.
Imagine if we got
over. We're trying to celebrate the good times, and we're like, this fucking loss pissed me off.
Well, then
let's. The season.
Well, we breezed over 2016, so let's talk about that. Brady has suspended the first 4 games. Obviously, Jimmy Garoppolo plays really well those first 2 games against Arizona and Miami. Brissett does cleanup duty, wins the third. That was an insane game. 35-0 against the Texans. Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, shout out Jacoby, man.
Unbelievable.
I love that guy.
Unbelievable. And then that Bills game, it's whatever.
Well, Jacoby had a busted throwing thumb, and their backup option was Julian Edelman.
Yeah, Garoppolo's shoulder was still screwed.
Yeah.
And then Brady comes back versus Cleveland, and that just killed him.
He threw for 400 yards. It's I was rusty.
And then the homecoming against Cincy killed him. They lost 1 game to Seattle, who was a Super Bowl contender.
Yeah.
Off of some weird, outside of some weird, goal line fade, no call penalty.
Cam Chancellor was kind of mugging Gronk, but I mean,
Gronk, he had a collapsed lung, didn't he?
Yeah, Gronk was out for the season after that game. Thomas got him really good on a.
I thought he played 1 more game against the Jets.
No, he was out for the Jets game.
Was he?
Yeah. Yeah. Because I remember in that Jets game, it was Brady, Edelman, and Malcolm Mitchell versus the world that game. Malcolm Mitchell had 2 touchdowns.
Maybe I'm thinking the next year. When did Blitzboy come into the league?
2017? 2017.
Okay, so that's when Blitzboy lit up Gronk and thought he did something.
Yeah.
But yeah, so 2016, there was 1 game with Brady. 28-3. I mean, it's over.
Even the Steelers playoff game that year, Chris Hogan,
Chris Hogan, absolute daddy.
Chris Hogan and Julio Jones basically put up the same stat line the same day.
Unbelievable.
One of them is going to Canton. It's not Julio Jones.
Unbelievable. And then obviously 28-3. I'm a freshman in high school. I'm sitting there watching the game with my stepdad. It's 28-3. And we don't turn off games early. It's just what we do. We went upstairs and we changed jerseys. That's what we did. And then we came back downstairs during halftime. We skipped the Lady Gaga show, even though in hindsight it was pretty good. Then everything starts rolling our way. And I am afraid to leave my seat because I'm afraid if I even shift, like this game's gonna be over. Brady's gonna throw a pick.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I'm very superstitious. I remember I used to like sit in like certain like formation, like certain ways where I'm like, if I move my leg half an inch, we're gonna like throw a pick or we're gonna lose this game. Yeah, we're gonna stall out and lose our momentum. Like football, man. Even sports, man, it causes some insane superstitions and stuff. Um, one of my insane superstitions is like every time Brady or the Patriots are in the Super Bowl, I didn't watch the halftime show at all.
No,
I'd go to my room. I couldn't because like I'm too locked in the game. I ain't trying to watch like Katy Perry sing around with a bunch of fucking sharks.
that was a fun halftime show.
I'm sure it was. I didn't watch it. I saw
My favorite halftime show was Bruno in 2013. That was
a good halftime
that
show,
was
yeah.
awesome.
I watched that one. You know why? Because I was enjoying it, watching Peyton Manning get his fucking ass beat in the Super Bowl.
That should be us. And then obviously,
you know what? If the Patriots, the 2013 severely outmatched by the Legion of Boom, Seahawks, Patriots were in there, they would have gave them 10 times more of a fight than the Broncos did.
Well, Belichick is twice the coach, not Vic Fangio. John Fox is.
Sure, but like, I mean, off rip, like Seattle, like I remember Cam Chancellor lit up Demaryius Thomas like over the middle of the field.
Rest in peace, Demaryius Thomas. By the way.
Yeah, R.I.P. Demaryius. That's just sad, but
Patriots legend.
Yeah, Texans legend, Jets legend.
Yeah, he did play for the Jets, didn't he?
We traded him to the Jets.
That's right.
But yeah, I remember Cam Chancellor just cracked Demaryius Thomas in the middle, and it was like, oh, fuck. And then they had like the snap, like Peyton's like the center flung the ball over Peyton's head, and I'm like, oh man, it's
that was a rough game for Denver. And then the next year
for me, I loved it.
The next year we beat Seattle in the greatest Super Bowl of all time.
Greatest football game ever.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
People want to say that. Well, people want to say that Chiefs Rams game on Monday Night Football in like 2018. I'm like, really, dude? Really?
If you want a really super high scoring game, go watch Big 12 football. Like, come on.
Yeah. Then
it was a fun game. It was fun for NFL standards, but like, come on.
That 2018 Patriots team was so bad. It was so bad, and it won a Super Bowl. It might be the worst team to win a Super Bowl.
I'd have to go look back at rosters, man. But dude, that's what if we want to talk about like the Patriots Chiefs game was a better football game than the Chiefs Rams game.
The AFC title game, absolutely.
Both of them, I think.
Oh, really?
I think, dude. Remember that Sunday Night Football game? It was like 42 stump. It was extremely high score.
I do remember that. Yep.
And it was like a really good football, man. Like, damn.
The AFC that AFC title game though is definitely like I went in there thinking, oh god, I don't know if we're gonna win this. Like that was the first AFC title game since 2013 that we were in that I didn't think we would win.
I felt that way coming into it, but then like I was watching NFL Network that morning, right? Mike Giardi.
That's right.
It's like
Brady's the baddest motherfucker in the world.
Walked into the office this week. He's like, I'm the baddest motherfucker on the planet. I'm like, okay, we're winning it.
Thank you for what was it, Chris Jones that was offsides, or Kenny Clark, or
it was
Frank Clark, D Ford. Yeah, thank you to him, by the way, because that game was over.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was the first.
Still bitch about it. You guys have that was one. Now.
That was one of the few AFC title games I looked at. I was like, oh, I don't know. But once we won that, I'm like, yeah, no, we're beating the Rams. Absolutely, we're beating the Rams. And then we did. Then 2019, I'd really rather just not go over it. That was the most miserable 10-0 team I've ever seen. Putrid offense, defense beating up on bad quarterbacks. Like, we got used to it. Like, we're used to it now. That was like the precursor to all the shit that we would deal with for the next 4 years.
Yeah, I remember telling Tristan, who is a Detroit Lions fan, by the way, for those that don't know.
We'll get him on here eventually.
Yeah. I was like, that was the worst 12-4 football team I've ever seen. He's like, motherfucker, I've never seen a 12-4 football team.
There's a joke. There's a joke. Me and Tristan, when we were at one of the websites we were writing for, we were like, yeah, this is the year the Detroit Lions go 12-4 for like a 3-year stretch. We were like, this is the year that they get it together, 12-4. I think the most they got was like 10-6.
Yeah. Hey, for Detroit, that's like a Super Bowl season for them.
No kidding. And they think they're gonna like do it this year. But yeah, Tom Brady. We said all there is to say. From our perspective as fans, obviously we're younger fans. Ryan knows a little bit more than me, going from 07 to the Brady ACL to the 09 to the 10 to the 11. I watched from Super Bowl XLVI against the Giants on.
Yeah,
but those were the second dynasty will always hold a true special place in my heart. And if we want to talk about the first one, I mean, who would have thought? That was one of the most nobody saw the Patriots being the force that they were without Drew Bledsoe.
They were like, I remember reading or seeing that like a power rankings from week 3.
Yeah, the Patriots were dead last. They're like, how are the Patriots going to survive without Bledsoe?
Yeah, it is my favorite, one of my favorite cold takes exposed ever, and it's like, the Patriots are bringing in this unknown rookie, 6th-round rookie or second-year quarterback named Tom Brady. Who the heck is Tom Brady?
At age 12. And then there was the article in 1999 from the Herald or the Globe that when Belichick was first hired, they're like, "Oh, this is a big mistake."
I think it was like Ian O'Connor or something like that. It's like hiring Belichick. Big mistake by New England.
Yeah.
Oh man.
And guess who showed him?
Yeah.
I think the best team of those first 3, and we can open this up to like the best team of the Brady era. The best team of those first 3, I think, was that Eagles, the year we beat the Eagles. I think that was by far the best Patriots team that we had ever seen up until probably
07.
07. And then after that, I think
2016 was the best most well-rounded Patriots football team.
Yeah, I think the 2014 Patriots were still a lot of heart.
Yeah, but I think 2016 was like that well-oiled machine type team where everybody was like, it was a pretty stacked overall roster. Yeah. 2003 though, 2003 Patriots are pretty freaking good.
Underrated Super Bowl.
Very fun one versus Carolina. This one I actually like going back to
watching. It's one of the better games of NFL history if you ask people. But it kind of just goes by the wayside because it was so long ago and it was in between 2 Super Bowls, the first and the last of the first dynasty.
And people wouldn't really expect like a Jake Delhomme like Super Bowl to be exciting, but like
God. Him and what's his name? Prohl, that wide receiver.
Yeah, Ricky Prohl.
Yeah, he was on the Rams team the year before, or the other year.
Ago, yeah.
But
man, go back to the glory days now instead of talking about how good this fucking team is now.
There's your Patriots nostalgia hour. Let's bring it back to the year 2023. Yeah, Mac Jones is your quarterback. Feel however you may about it, but go ahead.
Sort of excitement.
Optimism, cautious optimism.
Yeah. He might be more than a game manager, maybe.
But obviously the Patriots have it rough out the gate with that Week 1 matchup versus the Philadelphia Eagles, defending NFC champions. They are currently 4-point favorites against our Patriots. That comes as no surprise to me, which really means they're 6 points favorites because the home team always gets 2 points.
Yeah, 2.
So they think the Patriots are going to lose to the Eagles by a touchdown. Ryan, let's go to you. I mean, what are the 3 biggest keys to this Patriots game to really command an upset and go home to send Tom Brady home with a victory?
O-line. The Patriots O-line needs to step up because that Eagles defensive line is ferocious. Probably the deepest defensive line in the league.
It's the Philadelphia Bulldogs over there, man.
Yeah, man, it's ugly. Like so they're gonna need to play all 5 guys on that starting O-line. I believe it's projected to be Trent Brown, Cole Strange, David Andrews, Michael Onwenu, and Calvin Anderson at right tackle.
Ugh.
So those 5 are gonna need to really step up and keep Mac Jones clean, because and this is where having 2, I'll say it, David Andrews and Michael Onwenu is a really good interior line duo. They're going to need to really step up and ensure that guys like Fletcher Cox, Javon Hargrave, Jalen Carter, who's an ultra talented rookie, don't muddy the pocket for muddy the interior for Mac Jones, because Mac Jones pocket passer. Yeah, and pocket passers, they don't like muddy the interior.
He's not beating nobody with his feet.
Yeah.
He will try.
You can't have a muddy pocket. You can't. The tackles, I mean, the Eagles' edge rushers are pretty good still. So they still, like, Trent Brown needs to obviously step in and make sure that, like, I think Brandon Graham's still there and all that. Like, you can't let those, like, guys get into the backfield. My other key will be how they attack the new Eagles defense, because the Eagles lost their defensive coordinator, Jonathan Gannon. And Jonathan Gannon, we talked about in the Cardinals season preview the other day, kind of sucks. Eagles fans hated that guy.
I think Gannon really held that team back last year, and I'll get to it in my point, but go.
So we're gonna see how Philly plays a new style of defense, and it's not gonna be rinky-dink soft zones anymore where they have Darius Slay and James Bradbury kind of sitting 5-10 yards back, whatever. It's gonna be, receivers are gonna have to win. Are they capable of it? We're gonna find out. But you're going against Darius Slay, a top 5 corner in football, James Bradbury, one of the best cornerback 2s in the league. These guys are gonna have to win their battles, man, because otherwise you are boned. You're boned, and I don't know how much running, how much of the running game you're really gonna get out, get production out of, because Philly's got a pretty good run defense. And my third point is, how are you gonna stop Jalen Hurts? Because Jalen Hurts, man, like, he could do it all. He's a one-man offense type thing. Really good arm. Really powerful runner. Really powerful. Really good in the pocket. He could do it all. And their Eagles receivers aren't slouches either. The Eagles running game, we'll see. There's some unknowns there, but I mean, they were cooking last year, and they kind of, had a miscast characters back there. It's if you stop Jalen Hurts, I think you could stop Philly, but who knows? It's a bit of a buzzsaw there.
No, I agree with a lot of what you're saying. My first key is using motion on the offense. It was something that they struggled with last year, and maybe that's because of Gannon. Patricia, I mean, we saw the offense last year. They used no motion at all last year. So does Patricia think that he can stop it? Is that a blindside? Is that a blindside for him? I mean, I didn't watch the Lions in 2018 when he had full control, but were the Lions any good at stopping the motion when he was there? I didn't think the Lions were any good at anything when he was there. But yeah, that's number one. You utilize motion, throw them off a little bit. It's something they struggled with last year. That kind of thing doesn't fix itself overnight. Number two, I agree, containing Jalen Hurts, forcing them to run the football. They don't have great running backs, but they do have 2 great receivers, a good tight end, and a great quarterback. And Jalen Hurts, he can make plays if he wants to. So you got to force them to run. You got to lock down those receivers, get after them with the pass rush. And my last key, establish a run game, I think, because we're not going to win this game throwing. Here's what it changed from established run game to own the time of possession.
Yeah, I think that's a good point.
Keep the ball in your hands and out of theirs. because there's a solid chance that anytime Philadelphia gets to touch the ball, they're going to score. They have that high-powered of an offense. And I don't know who their new OC is after Shane Steichen left.
I'm sure it's someone of the Shane.
I'm sure he's capable.
Shane Steichen.
I'm sure he's capable. And they're going to score with that talent. That's how it is. They're going to get theirs. You need to make sure that you limit that and get yours at the same time.
Yeah. Well, I will say it's hard to fuck up an offense if you have Jalen Hurts, AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, and Dallas Goedert. It really is. Like, you'd have to be in the elite O-line there.
In the elite O-line, that's right. Yeah. I mean, there always is a Super Bowl hangover, but this Philadelphia Eagles team is legit. They're probably going to win the NFC East back-to-back, and that's like the first time that's happened in a long, long time.
Yeah. It's not going to be... But who knows? You know, and one last point, and this is kind of half serious, half not.
Go.
Having Brady back in the building will bring some good vibes, I think.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know what kind of energy it's going to bring. It's either going to be a lot of pressure or it's going to be good times.
I think there's going to be some, you know, obviously because Brady can still suit it up and play, but I think there is something to do with the Brady magic, I believe. You know, he's in the building cheering for New England. He'll be rooting them on. I think the fans are going to be happy to see their guy back. Obviously, like, you know, Mac might, you know, there might be some fan pressure on Mac unfairly, as we've talked about.
Well, I think there's always going to be unfair fan pressure for Mac because of last year.
There's unfair fan pressure on Cam Newton as well. Like, you know, if you're not Brady, but like, we got to move on from Brady, guys. Like, it's, and I don't mean that as in move on for the memory. I mean move on as in like there will never be.
You can't say move on from the memories when we just spent like half of the show. At least.
I mean, I'm trying to clarify, right? Like, we have to move on from. There will never be another Tom Brady in New England. We might be able to get the next hyped up quarterback prospect one day. How likely would it be that that guy wins like 6 Super Bowls and like in a Patriot jersey and like 7 rings altogether and all? It has the greatest career. Is the greatest player in NFL history. It's, you know, we were spoiled as fans. We're back to reality now.
We'll be the first to tell you that.
Yeah. So, Patriots fans need to pipe down a little bit with like being really unfair to Mac. Let Mac be Mac.
Yeah, Matt Corral's the next Brady Ryan.
Yeah. Bailey Zappi. Like,
Mac is Bledsoe, Zappy's Brady.
Yeah, come on, guys. You know, it's the same conversation. I hate this conversation where like every like late round quarterback is like the next Tom Brady, and you know, I was gassing up Aiden O'Connell, but like, you know, I remember like they said like Nathan Peterman was gonna be the next Tom Brady. Like, fuck off.
Who is that? Who is that Michigan quarterback that played for the Lions a little bit?
Oh, I think I know who you're talking. Rudock. Was it Rudock?
Jake Rudock. He was the next Brady.
Yeah. Well, every Michigan quarterback nowadays is the next Brady. No,
just wait for JJ McCarthy next year, dude.
Hey, he's someone I'm actually pretty high on as a quarterback, but like I'm not gonna be like, oh yeah, JJ McCarthy, next Tom Brady.
Next Patriots quarterback?
Maybe. Hey, you know what? You know who Tom Brady is mentoring? And he had one hell of a fucking football game on Saturday. Shedeur Sanders.
Imagine that.
Man.
I'd rather Travis Hunter, but
yeah, Colorado's gonna be a lot of fun to watch, man. But that's a different kind of conversation for a different day. But yeah,
I'm sure we can have a midweek episode at some point on just random stuff I was thinking about the other day.
Yeah,
but we do have one more segment. I have asked Ryan to come onto the show and pick each game for week 1 of the NFL season. Obviously, everybody's been waiting for week 1, and we are going to have this series at the end of each episode where we run through the games and we pick them. It's called Pick 'em. We run this with our good friends Tristan, Travis, Brian, and Elcio, as well as ourselves. Ryan, I will open it up to you. Detroit at Kansas City on Thursday night. Who do you got?
So we're not doing spreads, right? It's just straight up.
No.
Okay. I think Detroit will keep it close, especially with the news that Travis Kelce will not be playing, or likely will not be playing. I think Kansas City pulls it off. I just don't. And if Detroit does, then I think that's a huge statement win for them to go into Arrowhead week 1 opening night and take down the champs.
I also picked Kansas City. It is a tall task, and I'm not totally sold on the Lions yet. It's a lot of overhaul in that room. Lots of new guys, lots of new blood. Jameson Williams still isn't back yet. I mean, we'll see. I think it's
Monron Jameer versus the world.
I think it's a little too. We gotta pump the brakes on the Lions love for a second because this is Kansas City. Carolina at Atlanta.
You know what? I was gassing him up throughout the previews. I drafted him in Dynasty. I'm gonna roll with my boy Bryce Young. Carolina wins week 1.
I picked Atlanta. I think that team is just more well-rounded. I mean, obviously their quarterback is a huge question mark, unbelievably huge. But also there's a question mark about rookie quarterbacks. I mean, just in general, you don't really know what they are until they get in there. So I'll pick Atlanta. I think it's going to be close. It was kind of a coin flip for me. I took the home team. Okay. Cincinnati at Cleveland.
I got the Bengals. Burrow's going to be playing. You know, there's a rumor going around that he might sign his contract soon. You know, speaking of, I just got an update. Joe Burrow expected to start on Sunday.
Who would have thought? Taylor. Who would have thought? Yeah.
Full participant practice today. Yeah. We'll see. You know, I'm not really. I was high on Cleveland, but like Deshaun Watson, we don't know yet. My hunch is Deshaun Watson will return to form, but I got Cincinnati winning.
I too have Cincinnati. They're just a better team, and I think Cleveland just has a stink about them. Jacksonville at Indianapolis.
Jacksonville.
Any insight?
I'm big on Trevor Lawrence. I think this is the year he breaks out. Really breaks out, I should say. Indianapolis starting a rookie. Their roster's pretty bad. It's going to be Jaguars that wins.
And obviously, throughout history, the Jaguars own the Colts, so that's why I took them. We got Tampa Bay, Brady's former home, against the Minnesota Vikings in Minneapolis.
Minnesota.
Any insight?
They're a way better team than Tampa, way better coached. Just Tampa sucks.
Way better quarterback.
Way better quarterback. Everything about Minnesota is way better than Tampa Bay right now.
Well, the D-line.
Sure.
Maybe if you put Tampa Bay's defensive talent on Minnesota with Brian Flores, that team might win the Super Bowl.
Chew out half of the fucking guys on Tampa's defense, man. Oh my god.
I would kill to get Antoine Winfield Jr. in Minnesota. That'd be something.
Yeah.
But I too take Minnesota up. They're a way better team, and I am a big Kirk Cousins guy. So, and it's 1:00. Tennessee in the Superdome against New Orleans.
Ooh. You know what? I got New Orleans.
What's your thought process?
I think they're a better football team right now than Tennessee is. I think Tennessee's better coached, but I don't like Ryan Tannehill. I've never been a big Tannehill guy. I think New Orleans is gonna beat them. It's kind of the battle of mid though.
I too take New Orleans. I think they're a much better team than Tennessee. I think Vrabel's going to get everything he can out of that roster, like he always does. But at the end of the day, I don't know if that talent can just stack up.
Yeah. Tennessee's not really good anymore.
Up next, the San Francisco 49ers travel to Heinz Field to take on the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Well, there is reports that Nick Bosa is still not with the 49ers as he continues his holdout.
Wow.
And that's huge because, Pittsburgh's O-line is not very good.
No.
With that being said, I think the 49ers is still the better football team than Pittsburgh. Obviously, Pittsburgh's not a fun team to play.
No.
I'm going to take San Francisco by the skin of their teeth.
I, too, take San Francisco. I think they're a more talented team, although I do expect Kenny Pickett to outperform this season.
Yeah, so do I. I think Pickett will be decent.
But San Francisco, it's still just a really, really talented team. Up next, the Arizona Cardinals travel to Washington to take on the new owned Commanders. Who do you got?
Washington in a game that nobody will be watching.
No. Arizona might be the worst team in football history.
It's the battle of garbage.
I think the Commanders are talented. It's just we need to see what they can get out of Sam Howell.
They're talented, but it's also I don't know.
The organization it has a stink about it. It still does after Snyder.
I'll be honest. I hope Washington gets Caleb Williams.
Yeah,
that's what I want to see Caleb wins it the most.
Hopefully not Arizona. Up next, another trash team, the Houston Texans, travel to M&T Bank to take on the Baltimore Ravens.
Baltimore. Their defense. Like I said, I picked Lamar Jackson to be the MVP. Houston's not a good football team. CJ Stroud is a rookie going against an elite defense. If Houston were to win this, it'd be quite the win to start off. Quite the start to CJ Stroud's career. I don't think they're severely outmatched in Houston right now.
And so far, we still don't have a disagreement. I too am taking Baltimore. The Texans are just horrible. Horrible. Yeah. Unbelievable. I can't believe that they're allowed to function so long by being so trash. Just
It's from McNair cell. It's gonna be a clown show.
The Green Bay Packers travel to Soldier Field to take on the Chicago Bears. Are you believing in the Justin Field hype? Is he gonna win Week 1, Ryan? You tell me.
Ooh. Well, it's two kind of unknowns: Jordan Love versus Justin Fields. I think Green Bay is the better football team than Chicago is, and Green Bay has historically owned Chicago. I am gonna go with the Green Bay Packers.
I agree. I think they're a more well-rounded team. They're better coached. I can't say they have the better quarterback, but I have more faith in Jordan Love being good than Justin Fields right now. Justin Fields he's an insane athlete, but he can't throw a football.
It's strange because at Ohio State, Fields was awesome.
I thought he had the best pure arm talent in the class. In 2021. It
really goes to show that coaching really does matter a lot. Fields kind of got railroaded in Chicago to start off his career, but
and he'll continue to be railroaded as the Packers go into Soldier Field and win. Yep. We're gonna skip the New England game for last. Obviously, we're gonna build up some anticipation there. The Miami Dolphins head to LA to take on Justin Herbert, freshly extended, and the Los Angeles Chargers. Who do you got?
Man, that's a game I wish I could watch. I'm gonna take Miami to win. I'm not really high on the Chargers. They have a good roster, but their coaching is so bad there. And I think Miami's gonna outclass them. It's a classic kind of finesse. I talk about how Miami's a finesse team. This is a perfect kind of game for them. They'll out-finesse the Chargers easily.
Nope. Oh my God, get it right. I agree. I'm taking the Dolphins with you, and as I've said, I'm very high on the Dolphins this year if Tua can stay healthy. Up next, the Las Vegas Raiders go to Denver, take on the new look Denver Broncos. Who you got?
Denver. Yeah, I don't know if you saw what Sean Payton said about Russell Wilson.
I don't know if you saw what's going on with Chandler Jones.
Oh no, I saw that. He's not with the team today.
Josh McDaniels called it. He called it a personal reason, but Chandler Jones is pissed.
Chandler Jones is gonna have to get cut or traded. He was airing out the team on social media the other day.
leaking texts.
I will never play for this organization again. They locked me out. Blah 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 blah. Yeah.
Would you take him on the Patriots?
No. I like Chandler Jones. I soured on him when he would start the year really hot and then like disappear around the playoffs. No. And yeah.
All right. We got the Los Angeles Rams. Probably no Cooper Kupp. Going to Seattle to take on Geno Smith and the Seattle Seahawks. Who do you got?
I'm really low on the Rams, and I'm fairly high in Seattle.
Me too.
Seattle wins.
Yep. All the reasons you said. We still have no disagreements. The Dallas Cowboys head to MetLife Stadium to take on the New York Giants. Second year Brian Daboll. Who do you got?
I got Dallas.
Well, there's our first disagreement.
Okay.
All right, you go.
Well, I think they're the better overall roster. I'm not a big Dak guy. I think Dak's still the better quarterback than Daniel Jones. It's a better, I'm really low on the Giants roster as a whole. I'm not really super high on these guys. I think Dallas is going to win.
I think the Giants are better coached. I think they do have the better quarterback. I think Daniel Jones. I mean, if you want to talk about just like on face value, sure. But I'm projecting Daniel Jones to keep coming up. Dak Prescott is this, and he's always been this, and he's always going to be this. Like, he's fine. Daniel Jones, he showed a lot last year, and I don't think he's getting enough credit for it, to tell you the truth.
I'll be the one to not give him any credit. I think that offense is too spoon-fed, man. I'm not.
Who cares? He can run it.
Yeah, but if we want to argue that, then it's like Justin Fields is like a top 5 quarterback in the league, just off running. Like, I don't.
What are you talking? Daniel Jones is a perfectly fine passer. He's perfectly fine, and he's going to keep getting better. What did you think of Josh Allen?
Like Ryan Tannehill. And
what did you think of Josh Allen?
I thought Josh Allen was like absolute dog shit until he learned.
Do you think Brian Daboll spoon-fed him too?
Yeah, quite frankly, yeah. The offense is pretty spoon-fed, but Josh
Allen isn't good. So Josh Allen isn't good.
What?
So Josh Allen isn't good.
Josh Allen sucks.
Okay.
Out of context, Ryan Moore.
Fair enough.
I think it'd be complimentary of a Buffalo Bill player. Hell no.
That's getting clipped and posted. I hope you know that.
Josh Allen sucks. Stephon Diggs sucks. The Buffalo Bills suck. Buffalo as a city sucks. There.
Speaking of Buffalo, they're heading to Gillette Stadium on Monday night to take on Aaron Rodgers and the New York Jets. Who do you got?
The vibes are too great in New York right now.
Another disagreement we have.
But I just spent the whole time shitting on them, but I think Buffalo is the better football team. I think they're more well-rounded. They have more chemistry together as a unit. Josh Allen comes in, upsets the Jets, and kills some of the vibes.
Oh, now you're giving Josh Allen credit. Okay.
I'm
taking the Bills as well. They're very talented. They're a very good team. The Jets are very much new look. They are very rah-rah. They haven't played any major starters in the preseason. They didn't play any major starters in the preseason yet. There's going to be some growing pains. And Aaron Rodgers is good enough to overcome those. Obviously, he's one of the best quarterbacks ever. But
allegedly. I had to do that to fuck with you.
I mean, we're going to have this argument on a different day. But I will put that in the notes, by the way. I will say we need to have this Aaron Rodgers discussion with a third party in the room as well. I think that's
disingenuously arguing and slandering him.
I mean, I really want you to bring your best game, but I too I'm taking the Bills. And Rodgers is good enough to overcome those setbacks that come with like Brady did in 2020. I mean, Brady won the Super Bowl. I'm not saying that Brady and Rodgers are the same, but they're both elite quarterbacks, and Rodgers is very much capable of taking that Jets team to the Super Bowl. It's probably the most talented team he's had, like, ever, to tell you the truth. But it's the Bills, and the Jets still have a stink. They need to fix it. And give me a score for the points tiebreaker.
Oh, man. I think it's going to be tighter defensively because both defenses are pretty great. I'm going to say it will be 24 Buffalo, 17 Jets.
24 plus 41.
Yeah.
I said 34-17. I don't think it's going to be relatively close.
Okay.
And now it is the game of the week. Everybody put your hands up. It is Patriots versus Eagles. We've been waiting for this moment. And Ryan, tell me why the Patriots are going to
pull off the biggest upset. No, Philly's winning.
Wow.
I'm sorry.
I don't disagree, but you put that pretty blandly. Do you want to explain yourself to the fans?
They're a better overall roster. There's a lot of what ifs. Like, we talked about this in our X Factors. It will take guys in New England having to, like, receivers, for example. We talked about them a lot ad nauseum. They're going to have to play their best games to have a chance to upset Philly. The defense is going to have to play their best game to upset Philly. The O-line's going to have to play their best game to upset Philly. That's a lot of, like, you got to pull together a lot of magic to have it happen. I don't. It's going to take a few weeks to gel. And as great as it would be, especially with Brady in town and all that stuff, I don't. Not yet.
I generally agree. The gap is too large in talent.
Yeah.
And the gap in coaching isn't huge. Nick Sirianni is a fantastic coach.
Yeah.
It's a simpleton offense, but it's a simpleton offense with a ton of talent. Even our defense doesn't have a ton of talent. We are talent poor, to tell you the truth. And we need great coaching to overcome that, and great coaching will bring out those best games, and you'll be able to win a couple. But against the defending NFC champion, I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. Got a score?
I think it's Philadelphia 35, New England 21.
Damn, I thought I had the same thing in my brain. I did. But okay. I'll make it. I'll do 31-21. I'll do 31-21. Okay. We'll make that touchdown into a field goal. But
all right.
Well, I think we had a pretty good week. Ryan, any parting words for the peeps at home?
Yeah, I think Josh Allen is the worst quarterback in the NFL. And if it was up to me, I would rather have 31 other QBs than him. Now clip that.
Dude, you are getting clipped so hard. And I'm gonna post
the entire city of Buffalo on me.
I'm gonna post it in draft chat and then tag Gorshak. And Kyle Almarabi. Who are you more scared of?
Neither. Bring it on.
All right. Well, that's been Ryan Moore. I've been Kaleb McChesney. Thank you for listening to the Foxboro BeatCast. We will be back next week with a review, a preview, more picks, and hopefully more stupid shit arguments. We'll see you then.
Thanks for tuning in to this edition of the Foxboro BeatCast. Make sure you like and subscribe and follow us on Facebook and Instagram.